Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with another movie reaction. Today we are watching The Prince of Egypt. I know next to nothing about the film, but I've heard it's about religion and it has a very powerful message. The last part sounds like my kind of thing, so I'm excited to get into it. I'm not exactly religious, but I don't think you necessarily have to be religious to enjoy religious art forms. So anyway, if you guys want to watch the full reaction, check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Pretty sure we have over 100 movies there at this point. Leave a like, really helps out the channel. Subscribe, and let's get started. Ooh. I was thinking The Hunchback of Notre Dame was the darkest film I'd seen. Darkest animation I'd seen, but I think it's gonna be topped. Wow. Wow. That is about as spectacular an opening. The smile. Oh, I hope you're gonna be okay. Holy crap. He thinks these princes are causing a bit too much trouble.
One damaged temple does not destroy centuries of tradition, but one weak link can break the chain of a mighty dynasty. Tell me this, Moses, tell me, why is it that every time you start something, I'm the one who ends up in trouble?
Oh, come on!
You might as well.
You might as well. Oh my god, these two.
We present for your delectation and delight an exotic apparition stolen from faraway land. Let us inspect this desert flower. More like
Still.
Let's go!
as you wish.
Oh no. Come on. He saw the way his mother looked at him.
Guards. Prince Moses. There's a man tied up in my room. Well, look into it. Right away, sir.
Duh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I
Is that his sister?
see. You must know.
Be careful, slave.
Oh, my good prince.
Wow.
Our mother set you adrift in a basket to save your life.
Save my life from who?
Ask the man that you call father.
Oh my god. Wow. God, this is such a dark story. Nightmares. What do they do with the babies? Oh my god.
Stop! Stop it!
Did he just... oh no. Uh-oh.
Moses!
No, not now, not now.
I say you are innocent.
What you say does not matter. You don't understand. I can't stay here any longer.
Your brother gave you that. Everything else, okay.
What are you girls doing?
There she is. Does she recognizes him?
That's why Papa says she'll never get married.
Please, sir, I wish you wouldn't. I've done nothing in my life worth honoring.
So how can you see what your life is worth, or where your value lies? You can never see through the eyes of man.
Wow.
Dance with me.
You must learn to join the dance.
No. Oh. Wow.
What do you want with me?
I have seen the oppressed
oppression of my people in Egypt, I shall send you. Me? Who am I to lead these people?
You've chosen the wrong messenger. How can I even speak to these people?
Who made man's mouth?
Well, that'll change your life. First order is... Oh my god. I was thinking they're probably not going to show any of the scars, but... they chose a very... good moment to show them. Will he even be recognized? His brother's in charge now, right? Okay, everybody recognized him.
Ramesses.
Pharaoh speaks. I am the morning and the evening star.
Ramesses, in my heart you are my brother. But things cannot be as they were. He commands that you let his people go. Behold, the power of God.
For real? Ramses does not seem perturbed at all.
Hotep, hoi. Give this snake charmer our answer.
Are they gonna sing no in like a musical? It actually feels like they're about to do that. You're gonna have to visit bigger miracles on them. Oh, they did it too. He kept the ring to give it back. He feels like he just lost his brother. Oh, that is a look.
Ramesses, please, you must listen.
I will not be the weak link.
Ah.
It's Moses.
Moses!
When did you start caring about slaves? Was it when you found out that you were one of us? Doesn't it?
Aaron, you shame yourself.
I'm so sorry.
God will not abandon you. So don't you abandon us.
How is this not regarded as one of the best animated films of all time? Is that Ramses' son?
Let my people go!
And turn it into blood? Oh.
Father, it's...
Blood! Hotep, hoi. Explain this to me.
Rest assured, Your Majesty.
No.
This must now be finished.
It's still water around him. Oh my god.
But now I wish that you
Wow.
chose another. Serving as your foe on his behalf is the last thing that I wanted.
He still loves his
This
brother.
you who I call brother. How could you have come to hate me so? Is
He
this
doesn't.
what you wanted?
Ironically, not being the weakest link is gonna tear this place down.
Ramesses, please, talk to me. We could always talk here.
You were always getting me into trouble.
And now he's trying to get you out of it.
But then, you were always there to get me out of trouble again.
Something else is coming. Something much worse than anything before. Think of your son!
Is that foreshadowing?
I shall pass through the land of Egypt and smite all the firstborn.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not here for you, oh, but it's here for... You heard the last breath. Holy crap. I think it's about time to let his people go.
You and your people. have my permission to go.
Nope. It's not over.
Many nights we've prayed with no proof anyone could hear. There can be miracles when you believe.
If only mom and dad could see him now. Oh boy. Whoa. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. Whoa. Holy moly. Uh-oh. Why stop the fire? Oh. Pretty sure everybody else is murdered. Oh wait. What I can't believe more than anything is that DreamWorks decided to make this movie. Sometimes the price of freedom is high. Fantastic film. Ending with that. Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah, how is this like not on the list of like best animations ever? That was incredible. Just to give you some backstory, my parents bought a big, huge picture version of the Bible for me when I was a kid. Not because they were a Christian, but because they thought I should know what's in the Bible, because there are a lot of Christians in the United States. But yeah, I read it so long ago that I had forgotten a lot of the details. Maybe they weren't in the huge picture book, so I was quite surprised at a few things that happened in the film. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how accurate the film is as well. I'm sure it takes some liberties for heightened emotional impact. But I had completely forgotten that Moses was a prince of Egypt. If I had remembered that, maybe the title would have tipped me off as to what this film was going to be about. But yeah, I did remember the burning bush. For some reason, I remember the name Jethro. But this film is definite proof that knowing the ending of a film doesn't necessarily mean you can't enjoy the journey, because, of course, I remember the parting of the Red Sea, but this movie was just so spectacular despite the fact that I knew how the film was going to end. I mean, this movie works for people who even aren't like religious, because the emotional crux of the film, no pun intended, is the emotional connection between the two brothers, Ramesses and Moses. There's so much love between the two of them, and yet they're forced to inflict so much pain on each other. And it's a movie about self-sacrifice in order to do the right thing. Just really well done. Also, clever title for the movie, because the movie follows Moses, but it's about both of the princes of Egypt. So yeah, I thought that was clever. The tone of this film, though, I thought The Hunchback of Notre Dame was dark, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, but this was on another level. Like, I mean, the movie opened on a bunch of slave labor and abuse, and then killing a bunch of babies like that. I mean, the mural showed Ramesses feeding them to the gators or the crocodiles, I don't know which, but in the moats. All to thin the Hebrew population so there would not be enough people for a rebellion. Oh, man. I think there's something to be said about the fact that two of the darkest animations I've ever seen revolve around themes of religion. And there's also something to be said about the fact that they're so good. I mean, they also both start with incredible songs. Deliver Us, which I misheard as Deliverance, which I don't know that it changed the message too much, but that little detail of Deliver Us instead of Deliverance, I think it adds an even more emotional weight that I wish I'd caught the first time if I didn't mishear the lyrics. But yeah, that was such a solemn and powerful start to the film. Deliver us! A chorus of voices calling out for someone to deliver them. And then Moses' mother, when she starts singing, there's like one line where she harmonizes with the chorus that was heart-wrenchingly beautiful. And then we had the sister Miriam following Moses down the river. Oh, man. And I think it's really interesting because not too much is ever made of the fact that by the time Moses discovers his family, his mother is already gone. And they also kind of gloss over the fact that Seti and Tuya are both gone too, and Ramesses' son's mother isn't even present either. So, I mean, that means Moses never got to meet his mother, and then he loses the parents who raised him, and then he has to go against their son and grandson. He has to kill his nephew and all the firstborns in Egypt. It's technically God's wrath and God's will acting through him, but I wonder how that weighed on his soul and if there was a cost to his soul in the future. And I wonder if Moses had never found out that he was Hebrew, would he have just lived the rest of his days as the Prince of Egypt? I get this is God's will, and him winding up in the royal family was intended by God, but what if it wasn't? Because it's interesting to think about, because he saw the suffering of the Hebrews every day, I'm guessing, for years and years, but was okay with it until he realizes they're his people. It's just, there's such a strong juxtaposition between what he is and isn't okay with before and after he finds out he's Hebrew. So it's interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about the moral implications of that as well. And there are a lot of questions I have about religion that I'll find out in my own time, but it's really fascinating that in a monotheistic religion, where there is only one God who rules over all of the people, to see that God visit such violence upon the Egyptians, and I get the Egyptians didn't follow that one God, but they listed a bunch of them that I knew from like fantasy genres, some of them from Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've read about the violence of God visited upon sinners and non-believers, but I think seeing it happen, I don't know, it was just a different experience. And there are many ethical questions to ponder in this film. Queen Tuya, Pharaohess. I'm 99% sure it's Queen. Queen Tuya was there when Zipporah was brought in as a captive, and upon seeing her son mistreat her, she clearly disapproves. And the ethical question is, how much is she culpable for being the wife of the man who allows this to happen? How much power does she hold herself? Does the fact that she raised both oppressor and liberator, what does that mean for her character? And she's probably the most morally great character in the movie, because Moses does he destroys a lot of Egypt and helps kill a lot of people, but his people were being held as slaves. There's no choice to be made there. And I guess the question is, how much of a choice did Queen Tuya have? And what does it mean for our own morality if we act similarly to her? Because she showed love to a stranger in Moses, but stood by her husband and her son while they oppressed entire peoples, killing their children. And was there any conflict in her and Seti's heart, raising a child that was supposed to die at their hands? So yeah, none of that is ever really explored, but the fact that there's a character that's on screen for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, the fact that they can still be so interesting I feel like it's a sign of a well-done movie. Yeah, and I wonder if things could have been different, because Ramesses loved his brother so much, but he was obsessed with this idea of not being the weak link. He wanted to live up to his father's expectations after growing up a little bit on the wild side, partially thanks to Moses. But yeah, I have to wonder maybe if Moses went to him and asked him in private instead of him having to say no in front of everybody. And we know how much Ramesses loved his brother. Maybe they could have worked something out. Or maybe Moses could have made Ramses see that letting the Hebrews go was an act of strength. That becoming a morally strong nation that doesn't rely on enslaving others makes the country stronger as a whole. I guess I have wishful thinking, but given the price that Ramses would eventually have to pay, that is a deal he should have definitely taken when it was first offered, especially since his country suffered through all those plagues and he still lost his slaves. Oh man. Or he still lost the people he enslaved. Yeah, there's a distinction there, but I won't get into it if you don't know what the difference is. There's clearly so much more story with so many of these characters that can't fit into an animated movie, though. Zipporah is really cool. She was frustrated that Moses wanted to risk everything to go back to the capital to free the Hebrews, but eventually it was a really great moment when she decides to go with him because she would never let him do it alone. But all in all, we don't get to learn much about her or Jethro or Ramses' son, because that's not what the story is really about. It's about these two brothers who have to make impossibly painful decisions that hurt the people they love. And it's interesting that God spared Ramses, or Moses spared Ramses at the end with the sea coming together. Ramses just gets thrown out onto the shore. Not sure if that was Moses' doing or God's doing, but yeah, that last cry out for Moses is gonna stick with me for a while. My again, I read the Bible a really long time ago. It was the picture version, but it was like pretty. I feel like it was pretty in depth, but again, that was wow, 20 more than 25 years ago at this point, maybe 25. Um, I'm curious if their paths ever crossed again, and whatever happened to the mother of Ramses' son. So yeah, lots of questions. I'll find out on my own at some point. But yeah, story great, music fantastic, Hans Zimmer, of course. And the animation, the burning bush scene was ethereal, and the plagues being visited on Egypt were horrible but fascinating to watch, especially the last one where God comes in and kills the firstborn of everyone in Egypt. What an incredible act of violence. This is like eye for an eye stuff that is just kind of out of fashion when it comes to like current day moral discourse, at least when it comes to how people deal with each other on a day-to-day basis. Well, at least for me personally. But I can think of few situations where I guess eye for an eye still takes place. But yeah, the people of Egypt weren't guilty in that case. The children of Egypt weren't guilty for sure. And yet God's wrath was still visited upon them in order to punish Ramses, I guess. And the way it was animated, it was almost a gently violent way. It was like a wisp of holy smoke entering those houses and snuffing out the lives of those children. I'm curious what the cutoff age is, because technically Ramses is the firstborn in his family. Did he not die because his parents are already dead? Otherwise, what is the cutoff age, right? But yes, so many visually stunning scenes. The river turned to blood. The way the parting of the Red Sea was animated, that looked incredible. I mean, this movie came out in 1998. I didn't think they were capable of achieving that level of animation at this point at all. So, yeah, this movie blew me away, and I think DreamWorks as a whole has kind of surprised me. I watched the first Shrek 20 years ago. I can't believe it's been 20 years, but I haven't seen any of the sequels. But for some reason, I was given the impression that DreamWorks movies aren't that great. Maybe because they once in a while they throw in a trash movie like Trolls, but I don't know. The ones people are really passionate about, like Megamind, Kung Fu Panda, they've all been really, really fantastic. And this is for sure a 10 out of 10 for me. Not sure how I lost the last part of this commentary, but leave a like, really helps with the channel. And if you want to see the full reaction or you want to see movie reactions a week early, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye friends.